Wednesday, July 10th, 2024, 6 p.m. This is the Stoughton Redevelopment Authority meeting. In accordance with Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2023, order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20, until March 31, 2025. This meeting will be conducted both in person and virtually via Google Meets. A recording of the meeting, transcript, or other comprehensive record of the proceeding will be posted on the town's website and SMAC. Times are approximate and items may be taken out of order. Do I have a motion to open the meeting?
Motion made.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Who seconded the motion?
One.
Okay.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 was we're going to enter into executive session, but we are putting that on hold until after our meeting due to a traffic situation with our person, our executive session. So the next item is for public comments. Is there anybody out in the public virtual audience that needs to say anything?
Hello?
Hello,
Hi.
Cynthia Walsh. How are you?
1096 Park Street, yes. Did I understand you to say you're going to go into executive session?
Not until after the meeting. There was a scheduling conflict with the person. So we're doing it after the meeting.
Well, when you go into executive session, would you make sure you state the reason?
Yes, I will.
And also, could you tell me who's present at the meeting tonight?
Sure. Robert Desmond, Lisa Lyons, Peter Buckley, myself, Roberta Harback. And that's it.
Oh, Reggie?
I haven't heard from Reggie. I don't know if he's chimed in yet. Do you see him, Donna?
I do not.
We don't see him as of yet, Cynthia.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're very welcome. Okay, chairman comments. Bob?
Chairman comments.
Oh, that's me, I know, but whatever.
No,
Chair people, member comments.
So just two things. I looked at printed out the bill for 2 Berry Street, and just wanted to make you aware that it's due August 1st.
The tax bill.
The tax bill.
Okay.
Yeah, and so just wanted to bring that to your attention and see where we are as far as the exemption or, but either way, just want to make you aware of that.
So we haven't heard from anybody on the assessors about it. All right. Should we have somebody, should we ask Donna to contact them, or do you think we're just...
I think it'd be couldn't hurt to send an email over to Treasurer's Stan and just following up and looking. We see our tax bills due August 1st, and we're inquiring, is that the process is in the future agenda or other case.
So do you want to make that as a motion, Bob?
Sure.
Okay. Anybody want to second that motion? Did you get the motion for your comment? Second, Lisa, second. All in favor? Okay. But that tax bill, we have paid that, right, Donna?
It's right here, so it has to be signed tonight.
Okay, so we do want to pay it though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd get a credit, either way, we'd get it.
Correct.
All right. Anything else from you, Bob?
It just, every week I go up to the transfer station, whether it's to drop off grass clippings, recyclables or whatever, but just the last 2 weeks ago when I was there, I got up there about 9:30 and every single bin was full. So it's kind of, okay, what's going on here, what's the process? So I spoke with DPW, and apparently they're supposed to go in there every Monday and pick those containers up.
DPW.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they're supposed to pick them up every Monday. And then, from there, I'm not sure what transpired. I don't think it happened. And so I just brought it to their attention to say, hey, because a few people were behind me as well couldn't dump their stuff because chambers before. So I just, it's kind of a reflection on us, even though we're not the ones that are actually doing the work. So just wanted to bring that to your attention.
I wanted not to defend them because I know nothing.
Yep.
But I don't know who's actually, what person or persons are actually, if they're trailering them, if it's, but when they have the holiday, and then they have to pick up trash, instead of Monday being I'm gonna call it a free day, but I know it's not free.
Yeah.
Then maybe it kind of threw them off. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's only open on Saturdays,
Yeah.
so you've got Monday through Friday. So even if it was a holiday for
Oh,
4
yeah,
days,
right.
they could go there Friday and pick it up, whatever
Right.
the case is. But again, it's just a service that we provide from the town.
Yeah.
And so just let you know that.
Are you satisfied? Do you think we should be?
No, there's a couple of questions I got up there. I mean, from what I understand, they're taking those recyclables and they're bringing them over to Avon.
What's in Avon?
I guess there's a recycling place there.
Okay.
So that was kind of one of my questions as well. So I just wanted to kind of do a little follow up to see, and maybe we can get some answers as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody have a problem about following up?
No, I just want to add to that too. Just keep in mind too, also with the new residential rules for the trash pickups, you used to be able to dump all that stuff in your own trash. You can't do that anymore. So that could be the other reason why you're getting inundated. You probably have 10 times the amount going in there now than you did in the past. It's just a communication, but that's just a little bit on their defense. That's all that is.
Yeah, and they are, I saw in the town crier, I saw that they're having something at the library. I don't know if anybody saw it, about the trash and recycle, or some kind of thing.
Forum type of thing going on?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know the exact date of it, so I don't really know. Anything else, Bob?
None of this.
Lisa, anything from you? You're good? You're good? No, I think I'm good. I don't think I have any public comments. Chairman comments, whatever kind of comments. Okay, administrative comments. Donna?
Just if anyone has any question about when meetings are being held or where agendas are posted, the number to dial is 781-341-1300, extension 9299, and that will go through to my email directly.
Okay, beautiful. All right, consent agenda, item 4, minutes of previous meetings. Does anybody have any questions on everything look good on the minutes? So we have different minutes. So we have June 12th would be the first one, so does somebody want to make a motion on June 12th? What, second? Anybody want a second, June 12th?
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Lisa, are you here?
But I wasn't able to.
Okay. No, you weren't appointed yet. Okay, thank you. All right, so you got that, Donna?
Yep.
Okay, so the next one was the meeting with the school committee, the select board, that we had with them about, a new member. That was June 18th, 24. You guys look those over?
Yeah.
They look good?
Yes, I didn't have any questions.
All right. Anybody want to make a motion to accept those minutes?
Sure.
Okay, Bob,
Second.
abstain. So 3 to 1 abstain. Okay, then we have the minutes June 26th. And so you're saying, are we having an issue because Lisa hadn't been sworn in? Is that what you're saying on this June 26th meeting?
No, we're not having an issue. It's just I'm just letting people know that she was attending, but
Okay.
Right.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, anybody want to make a motion to accept June 26, 2024?
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain? Okay. All right. Paid bills. Anybody have any questions on any of the bills? Or the unpaid bills?
I do. Donna, did I submit to you the bill for the electrician for Perry Street?
for Scardino?
No, there was an electrician involved, so no, I didn't
No, you did not.
Okay. I'm gonna submit that.
Oh, that's, okay. And Bob said that the Perry Street rent was paid. And Page Street was just paid too.
Today,
Okay, so that's, and then she's got the rent, and then, boy, that's a really hefty, real estate tax bill, isn't it?
I did email them a copy of
Right.
that, and I also sent it snail mail as well.
Okay, I'm just surprised it's that much. Then we have Donna's invoice, mailing the check to the attorney. Donna got a new battery for, I guess, that one. Perry Street real estate tax bill that she has, and I bought the, paints.
That's actually $79.58.
Oh, I didn't look at it. Okay,
That was
so
last.
whatever, all right, so that's that. So I bought, well, I can talk about it, but I bought the 5-gallon bucket for the shop, bought one for the office, and we need more. So once that's done, we'll finish it off. So that's what that's all about. Okay. All right, correspondence. I don't really think we had any correspondence, did we?
I believe there was one piece of correspondence, and it was from Stoughton Recycling. They sent us their certificate of insurance for their general liability, which this is incredible because we've had to hunt them down in the past, and now they're voluntarily sending it to us. So this is like a great step in the right
So
direction.
who was actually sent that to us?
The insurance company itself.
Yeah, but who,
It
is it Win Waste?
no, Stoughton Recycling Technologies. It says.
Isn't that the town?
No, recycling technologies.
Yeah.
It's not waste, is it?
They use the names interchangeably. but
Okay,
I don't know.
because Stoughton Recycling Technologies is, I thought that's what was called the 100 Page Street, which is all 100 Page Street.
Right.
So you're thinking that Win Waste is the one paying that bill?
I just know that we've had confusion in the past,
Okay.
and we brought this to the attention of our attorney
Yeah.
because the lease, I think, said Stoughton Recycling Technologies, and they're claiming.
Okay, Stoughton is, yeah, go ahead. I'm just curious who's taking out the insurance, because this is kind of questions that we have, right?
It's gotta be done.
Gotta be one. Yeah, because I don't see anything about it. All right, so the status of the urban renewal plan, we're gonna wait till closer to 7 o'clock, because that's gonna be a calling. All right, and then, okay, but then we'll go to Perry Street. Okay, so what's going on at Perry Street? So, as it sits now, I'm gonna call it the office side and the shop side, it's just easier to say. So my husband and I did the office side, less the wall that is not completed. So now that all the inspections are done, do we have any idea when they're gonna close up that wall?
I was told by the end of this week.
By the end of this week? Okay. And then they'll also do the shop side, the platform,
Yes.
and whatever else has to be done. Okay, so then I will go back in, paint the shop, and my husband and I are going to paint the shop side too. So we're just gonna do it. And then probably eventually the floors, this is just concrete. So that's pretty much the status on that. Land surveyor. I don't wanna get into the minutia on this, but I think, fences make good neighbors. And I think we may want to have a land survey mark where our property line is.
There is no plot plan now?
There is a plot plan, but it's very, unless you wanna go digging for the postmarks and the asphalt. There is nothing from end of building 10 feet to end of property line. There's nothing that says you're 10 feet off the property line. Do you have a copy of the plot plan here, Donna?
I do not.
Okay,
It's easy enough.
yeah. So I want everybody's opinion on having a land surveyor. I don't know what it's gonna cost. I think it's gonna cost a few $1,000 maybe,
How much?
few thousand, I don't know. I mean, we really only have,
3 to 5.
you think it's
Say what
3 to
she
5?
said,
I mean, obviously we're on the corner, but they have to find out where the corner is to do their measurement.
yeah. You're looking for recommendations of a land surveyor?
Well, at first I wanna see if everybody's good with doing the land survey, paying for a land survey. I see us running into problems,
Yeah.
yeah. And then put up
I
a
mean, you have a.
piece of stockade fence up.
If we can, yeah.
Why can't we put a fence
Small
up?
lot. If we meet all the setbacks,
To a fence?
we have to give so much off the property. Because I can't do nothing off the house, so we just gotta look at it.
I know, okay, I mean, it's commercial property. I mean, there's just been incidents, let me just say that. That unfortunately I feel like we're being forced into this.
I mean, I look-
Okay. So can I get alright, so for a land surveyor, do you think, somebody ought to contact Mark Tisdale to see who he would recommend? Do you know somebody?
There's quite a few, so you know, there's somebody that.
Okay, alright. So who wants to find a land surveyor?
Who make
It's going to do a couple calls, you think?
Yeah, and again, I would inquire with either Mark or the building inspector as to what we can and can't do there. You know, like Peter said, you know, it might be different from commercial and residential,
Right.
you know, the 6-foot fence or
Right,
whatever the case
right.
may be, so.
You get the survey, he's gonna find all that information out there.
That's true.
Right, right, but I don't, you know, I'd like to know going into it, you know, what our options are.
So do you want to know the options before you pay for the surveyor?
Yeah, but that's just a quick conversation with Mark.
Alright, so who wants to have that quick conversation? Who's volunteering?
Audit.
I can call tomorrow.
Okay. Alright. And then we can find out from there. Alright. Also, I asked everybody about the vendor. And if anybody had any suggestions on, the application for the vendors.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm not finished with them,
Okay,
but I was just kind of tearing them apart.
okay, so can you did you see what Reggie sent?
No.
Okay, so there's some things that I like about what Reggie sent, and some things that I don't, but I'll just throw them out there. He wants to know the name of the business, if you have one, I guess. Is this an existing business? Okay, is it a startup? Is your business registered with the town? I mean, it wouldn't be registered with the town, I don't think.
The DDA, you have to go with the town.
You do?
Unless you're a small mom and pop.
Well, that's what I'm.
Even then, you're supposed to. You're supposed to register with the DDA.
Well, okay, I didn't know that. Are you current with taxes relative to the town of Stoughton?
That's cool.
Okay,
Well, yeah, and the only thing that they're gonna say is if they're a home. I mean, that's the only
Right.
pertinent thing with taxes, so.
well, are you current with taxes?
Yes.
Is your business current with taxes?
Well, their business may not be current with taxes, because if they're making under $600 a year, they don't even file in a
Yeah.
1090. But do you like keeping that in? I'm just kind of.
Yeah, I'm just go through the list.
Alright,
and we'll-
he has, what are your anticipated operating hours? I say that's irrelevant, because we're open when we're open.
At least the authority sets the hours, right?
Right,
Okay.
so do you all agree that that's irrelevant? And it says, what services are you requiring? Electricity, water, nobody's gonna have water. This isn't a restaurant. Do you agree with me? Cleaning services is not, you're not getting their food cleaned. Then, I don't wanna, this is what I'm saying, I don't wanna supply chairs, tables, or oven to anybody. They're getting electricity.
Their own
if there's-
equipment,
Yeah, if there is electricity behind their stuff. Is everybody good with that? Okay. And then it says how much space to require. I'm thinking of two options, 3x6 or 3x3.
Something that would be set by the authority
Yeah.
first, right?
So I guess I could do 3x6, 3x3. And then it says, do you have the appropriate business insurance? This is a tough one. Who's gonna have workers' comp? They're self-employed.
Well, you
No one.
get, if you're self-employed, there's a waiver of that. So there are certain things that waive your requirement for workers' comp. I can get you something on that. Because if they have somebody working with them, they're paying them, they get hurt there. Who they gonna go after?
But that's not the thing is, these are like mom and pop. This is you selling your honey.
I get it, but it doesn't matter.
So I have you sell my honey and then you slip on some honey, so you're gonna sue me because you're selling honey for
Yep.
me?
Yep.
Okay, I mean, do we, it's gonna prevent, it will.
That will. That will. Well, it will be the ones you don't want. It's what it comes down to. But if you're, it's a liability issue because it's either our insurance or theirs. So if they have somebody that they're paying to work, say if it's a bigger company, they just want this to do their marketing out. And do
No,
that small
that's not what
spots.
we're, that's not, this is supposed to be for startups. This is supposed to be small. We're not doing any pyramid, Tupperware, Princess House, or whatever the,
Still need the insurance. I mean, are we going to cover it or are they going to cover it?
I mean, if somebody fell in the building,
Yeah.
it would be under our liability, it's in our building. Right?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not looking at you working for me selling my honey. I mean, I'm thinking, and you're not gonna be there selling your honey because you're not gonna be standing behind your table.
My
You're
opinion
gonna
on
be-
that, let's check into it
Okay.
and see if it's required.
And then it has
Could be it's-
liability and a separate, yeah, we could beat it to that because
I
if,
think we would bring up, just let you know, if anybody, anyone wants some dirt money,
Yeah.
anyone other than the owner of the business working needs, would officially need to be covered by law. Anyone other than the owner.
so that means every person that has a booth there is gonna have to have workers' comp insurance.
No, if they're a sole proprietor
Correct, then they don't have.
or an employee, correct, those are your two terms right there.
Okay, so this is the scenario that I'm setting. We have these 15 tables, okay? Lisa sells honey. It's Lisa's day to work. So, does she have to have insurance?
You would have, but you have, yeah, because they have to, you should have a certificate of liability if you wanted to do it. A lot of people won't do it, you're right, it's a cost. It's a cost on that one, but it's also a liability question. Do we need it or don't we? But I think we need that answer before we have to eliminate as that part of the list.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking,
What do we do with insurance or something?
Exactly.
When they vendors in that.
Could ask them, I don't know.
they probably sign a waiver.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And then you just have to sign a waiver
right, because I think you're going to,
that the SRA is not responsible.
right,
But the thing to do would be to ask our insurance.
Right.
Right?
right.
We're insured with
I will call John Russell. And I'll ask him. But I guess I'm looking at it, right, if you're a vendor and you have a booth, any of these other tons of places that are around there that people rent booths. You go in there and you're using up your stuff and you slip. So are you suing the place because you went in there to juice your stuff up? You're gonna, I mean,
They go after anyone they can.
you're gonna.
All I'm saying, it does happen.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm trying to make this something that people are gonna wanna do and people are gonna wanna sell their wares and not make it jumping through hoops. But I will call John Russell and I will find that out. Did anybody have, I mean, other things that they wanted on this application? Besides, you may have some more.
Yeah, I'll have one.
All right,
A lot of it's gonna be the same.
okay.
And I just wanted to confirm, we're gonna run this by council at some point, correct?
It's a recommendation.
You know,
I
just-
guess when we're done, run it
Yeah,
by
you know,
Jenny.
something to that effect, saying Jenny's, we're
Yeah.
covering all our points here, and, so this waiver says, Stoughton Redevelopment is
Yeah.
responsible, you're responsible A, B, C, and D,
Do you wanna run it by Jenny or by Tom Harrington, since Tom worked on the incubator model?
whoever.
Picks up the phone.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Good question.
yeah, if he's more familiar with contract law, then absolutely, I mean, whoever, and we can ask Jenny who best, but yeah, I'm sure the when they give the vendors at, field day or something
Right.
like that, they have the form and you
And
can.
they have a waiver.
You have a waiver.
I mean, no offense, we march in the parade at Christmas time.
There's a waiver.
I have to sign something from the rec department.
Absolutely. Yep. So I mean, it's just like that, and then just, does this suffice, and if so, then that's up to them,
Right.
and on recommendation of council, this is what we're doing.
I mean, I'm hoping that's basically all it is, because, you know, these people aren't gonna wanna be having all this, let's be honest.
Legally, they're not.
Yeah,
They're not.
you know, they'll be,
We'll make it as easy as possible.
you wanna
But
make,
we also wanna protect our interests at
Right.
the same time.
so next month, if we can have all this and we can run it, because I want to, if you guys send me what you need, and I type it up and then I send it back, I mean, do we have to keep voting and re-voting? Cause I'd like Jenny or Tom to look at it, cause we keep pushing this further and further.
Maybe I'm voting the one.
I mean, to go and have Jenny or Tom look at it. Once you guys send me your stuff, and I make up the application,
Then you send it.
yeah, then you're okay with me sending it to them.
Yeah.
But we have to, but if you have something, we need to share that with everybody as long as they agree with it. So do we have to have another meeting before that to agree to it?
And I'll send you your changes.
Okay, so everybody will be good. All right, I just don't wanna do anything out of school there.
We can't have a conversation with
Right.
all of us once we send you our changes. Like I
Okay.
say, here's my changes, this is
Yeah.
your changes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can respond to the individual.
Okay, all right.
That's fine.
Alright, so that's that. Alright, and then I guess I can do the open house and get people in there, I guess. To see if it's something doable. So I'll go over my thought again. I'm thinking 15 vendors. I'm thinking $50 a month plus work one shift a month. So if there's 15 vendors, you know, you're talking 15 days a month. You're talking open 3 or 4 days a month. I mean, 3 or 4 days a week, excuse me. So say you're open Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, whatever. Does that make sense?
What do you mean by only working one day a month? You're
So-
open 3 days.
Say we're open Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'll just use that. We're open 3 days a week. From whatever time to whatever time, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever. So you sell honey. So you're gonna pay for this table for honey, $50, put all the honey you want on it. But also, you have to work one shift a week, because your table's gonna sit there for the month for $50. But you're not standing there waiting for people to come by and buy the honey.
So when you actually make the sales, if we're open, you're not gonna require people to be there when you're open?
Only one person, it's like a store.
So one
So
person,
there's
so
15 tables.
So they all have to work together and sell each other's goods?
They're not, you're gonna stand at the cash register, I guess I'm gonna say. I come in, I look around, I buy some honey, I go over, oh, look at that cute little pretty plant over there. Oh, I'll buy that for Aunt Judy. Oh, look at that cute, I go up to the register with my honey and
So that person's
you-
gonna have to do good record keeping. So that they
everything
know
will, I have a whole thought process of people's tags, tickets, dividing everything up. So you're gonna take in the money, and I'm thinking, I mean, I'm just running this by you guys. I'm thinking at the end of the night, okay, let's just make it an even $100. There's group 1 through 15, everybody's got a number. And everybody's got an envelope, and you brought in $100. With the sales, your tickets match the $100 you got in the cash register. Part of this whole process of being a business owner is, okay, now you're gonna go and make a deposit. When you leave that place, you're going to do a deposit at the bank, whether it's a night drop or whatever the heck it is. This is what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm throwing things out there.
I'd be a little bit more inclined, to, once we started, you know, again, Saturdays and Sundays,
Okay,
get it up and running,
okay,
you know, get people comfortable with it. I know there's certainly people that won't feel comfortable, you know, with a cash register or keeping track or making deposits, you know, that do. So I think, from my perspective, I would get them in there, 15 vendors,
Yeah,
and get them familiar, and then say, okay, well, you've done this for a month, it's worked out well, you paid us, now it's plan B. I think to try to incorporate that and explain that, it's going to be a little overwhelming for the vendors, for us, you know what I mean? So I would see it as, you open up, you have 15 booths, you have 15 vendors, you stay there on a Saturday from 8 to 12 or 12 to 4, whatever your hours will be, and you get familiar with the process.
Or in each other.
In each other, yeah, in each other, absolutely.
You get to develop some trust.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm not going to say, hey, you sell my stuff.
Exactly.
I just don't think that's going to be a comfort level. And also, I've got a cash register here that, I know a lot of people just don't want anything to do with cash and deposits and stuff like that. So I just think that, maybe September 1st, hopefully we're up and running. First month of September, we get the vendors in there, we get comfortable. Okay, how can we improve upon this process? Who wants to, and then go from there. I mean, I just think from my perspective, and again, just like you're throwing out your 2 cents, I'm just going to throw mine out. I just don't feel like that's a lot to ask, of an individual. I mean, you could have 20 people in there at one time and asking questions. What about this? And I want 2 of these, and I want that, and you have a card, blah blah blah.
Just have one person, just like it's not potentially not.
That's me. Yeah, that's what I would do.
One,
Yeah.
and two, are the other vendors going to be comfortable with each other?
Absolutely.
And handling the proceeds of their product.
Right.
Because their product is going out the door until they get comfortable.
Right.
That would be like.
okay, all right, so I'm just gonna throw a wrench.
Okay.
We don't have 15 parking spots. We don't have room for 15 vendors standing behind a table.
Right.
And the beauty is, they paying for the table. I get it, they work out whatever, they have to pay $25 for the day to stand in a field.
Right.
But the beauty of this is, and it's supposed to be part of a learning process too.
Right.
I mean, I would hope to God that at whatever age these people are, they can add, and they can make a deposit slip. And maybe, okay, we start off, we have 2 people on instead of 1, and we only open 2 days a week.
I think Bonnie's right on his comment, and Lisa's well, is that that's not really, that's an issue, but it's not the bigger issue. The issue is, that's fine with 2 people, but it's the other people who have vendors there. They don't want these 2 people handling their cash. And that's what it comes down to, because is there an accounting? Is there a backup accounting to that? Someone's got to be responsible for that the whole time. Do people want that responsibility? The 2 people that are there. I mean, because
And do the other vendors want their product going out the door and have faith in the people,
yeah, same thing. To your point, exactly on that. To your point, as far as or whoever made the point, the products that are being sold, and there's questions that come up. Okay, I think people like that. Was who's going to answer those questions for them? Because if the vendors aren't, if they're selling the honey, we're going to go with that. And we know in town there's a couple of good vendors that are selling honey. So, but they do it differently. Some of them do it differently in their process. So they're going to want to know, people coming in, how did you make that? Because if it's all natural honey, they're going to want to know how it's made. So who can answer those questions? Unless those people put a buyer on their product on tables. I mean, something like that. So that's where you go. Something like it's putting a comfort level. But my biggest concern is the cash handling.
I was gonna say, that's the easiest to put.
Well, right, I mean, I do
Correct.
believe, I do hate cynical, I do think things could get stolen,
Sure.
things could get broken. And I look at it this way, if there's a tag on everything, you have an NCR paper slip, you have $100, all these 8 things you sold equal $100, there needs to be $100 in that envelope, and $100 on those NCR slips that add up to $100. If Lisa, every time she works, she's short $20, Lisa, I mean, you can't have it. It has to balance out. So maybe if there's 2 people, and you're probably better off if there are 2 people that really don't know each other well. Because it's not like 2 sisters saying, hey, we could pretend we only sold 20 bars of candy and we can pocket the rest. when you don't know somebody, you need that balance of,
If they're making the deposits at the end of the night, who's dispersing the money to the vendors?
well, that's something we have to think of. It's gonna have to be an account at the end of the month. This is how I'm been thinking of this for months.
Yeah.
So at the end of the month, you have 15 vendors. You made $50, you made 10, you made 3. At the end of the month, I know, you wouldn't be in business, but you automatically, because I want these people to commit to 3 or 4 months to start. And then after that, it doesn't work. If you can't come up with $150 to commit for 3 months, or even if we did the smaller table. And, where did you just ask me again? Sorry.
I'm not sure, but just to follow up on that,
Oh, how you take the money. All right, let me finish it.
okay,
So let's pretend you made more than $5.
You said 50.
All right, so you made more than $50. You all made more than $50. Your next month's rent, okay, Peter made $118. Minus $50 for July's rent. You made $180. Minus $50, 100. And then checks would have to be written out at the end of the month, not weekly, it's monthly. You get that, but I know you paid your rent for the next month. And that's something else. That's something that you're gonna have to write 15 checks a month. And if somebody makes more than, I think, $600, they're gonna have to be 1099. Other than that, if you make $400, it's,
Does somebody have this QuickBooks or software that they use to keep track of that?
we don't have a payroll system right now, but I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, I guess, very old school.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is how you balance things. You've got a ticket here and you've got a thing here and they all have to add up. And if people don't, I mean, we're supposed to be also a teaching and a learning thing.
Right.
We want the people to work together. We want the people to, right, I mean, accidents could happen. Things could break, things could get stolen.
Tickets could get switched, and if that's the case, the tickets would still match the money in the envelope because the wrong products are being sold. Like,
But if it says
right.
$10, table 7, pink afghan, I'm throwing it out there.
Right,
This is
right,
all what
yeah.
I've been thinking.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm a small business like that, 9 out of 10 times nowadays with technology, I got Apple Pay. You hit your card, there's no
Yeah.
cash transaction. And if I already have
Oh,
that,
we can do that too.
correct. And if I already have that in place,
Right.
I'm going to go back to collecting cash and making deposits and wait for someone to give me my money at the end of the month.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I just think, yeah, that idea where, like you say, at some point there's just one person there and everyone knows everyone else's business and they're all working together. But I think to start it off, I would just recommend that, they all go in there and if they have to park over, there's parking on that street, there's parking, so, it
Yeah.
is what it is. What would your expectation be? They come, they drop off the stuff and they leave and then it's someone else's, the most part of the responsibility?
Well, that's, to be honest, way before COVID, my girlfriend and I in Sturbridge, where all the flea market capital is, we did rent a boat. My girlfriend and I rented a boat. We did really like renting stuff. And we paid a price.
Yep.
We never went there. I mean, I shouldn't say that we brought stuff there.
Yep.
We did not work the register, but we paid a hefty price
Nice.
to have that place be open 3 days a week.
Yep.
And we had to commit to the year. Well, it wasn't a full year because when the Brookfield Flea Market comes, they close. So let's just say it was 9 months or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you had to, yeah, I know, you have to commit to it.
Yeah.
So, we only did it 1 year. And, yeah, but that's what they did. They took the money off the top when we made, so they had our next month's rent. And nothing was ever stolen, because I had a list of the things I had on there, and when they said item 7 sold and under 29, I knew what sold. I knew how much I was charging for it. The number, I mean, it's
Right, but
Is
you
that
had
the
someone
same
on the other.
fairground? Where the BNT show is?
yeah, it's a little further down. There's a building.
Who's the
in there.
company that runs that?
Oh, there's a bunch of different fields that rent out. But
that's
this was
where
in a
you work.
building. Oh, I don't remember. This had to be,
Well, I'm saying.
8 years
why-
ago.
Let's go take their brain on their model. See how they did
Well,
it.
there's one in Randolph,
Yeah.
there's places
There's one in
all,
Randolph.
there's under the
There's
bed,
one
there's
in
places
Pawtucket.
all, they charge like $100-something. There's
Yeah,
one woman
the
that
other
works
thing,
there.
well, the other thing you gotta look at too, who's gonna do all the accounting and writing of the checks every night?
Right, well, there's only 50, right, but like you're saying, if you made everybody have Apple Pay, I guess, or whatever kind of
Well, I'm
pay
just
you
saying,
have.
the scenario you just gave
Yeah.
us was there was a company there that's familiar with the process, that has a spreadsheet that's time and money. We don't have.
Oh, I have no idea how they did it. I
Yeah.
just know what we were required with
Right,
tickets and a
right.
booth number.
From the seller's perspective, but, you know, the administrative work as far as
Yeah.
that's concerned, you know, that's what I'd be a little bit more interested in.
I mean, I think it's when you have you know, the place in Randolph is huge. I don't know how many vendors they got in there, probably 60. We're
Yeah,
talking 15.
And the one in Pawtucket, Rhode Island is even bigger than the
Yeah,
Randolph one.
I mean, that's big business. I mean, you know, this is, and right, if we don't wanna write them checks and they have to have some kind of pay service,
yeah, I would go, that would be my recommendation.
that would be a requirement, you
Yeah,
know?
I wouldn't, deposits, cash, you know, get out of that. I mean, and then there's a record, who paid for it, you know, there's trackability, there's, you know,
So you're saying as they go, alright, so say I buy 3 things. I buy something from you, you, and you. So I'm Apple paying him $8 for the honey. I'm Apple paying, it's 3 separate $17 for the Afghan. And I'm paying you for
edge,
eggs.
yeah.
So I have to do 3 separate transactions.
Yeah.
I don't care, that's fine, so it's like a cashless. What about you don't have Apple Pay or what?
Yeah. I mean,
Then you can't shop there.
Because someone's shopping at Apple, it's the vendor that has to have the Apple Pay.
yeah.
So it's who you're buying it from has to have the Apple Pay account, you're just giving them the card. That's all that is.
Right.
So it's,
You really need to take a field trip home to Randolph or to one of these places and see what.
They're not very informed, they're not, yeah.
who runs there?
I think it's a man, I don't know, but there's a woman that works there and they don't give out much information. I'm just
See how it
saying,
works in the setup anyways, I mean, it's just to see how.
I mean, they are bigger booths. I mean, I'm just thinking tables or say, you know, you with your honey, you know, if you're 3x3 table, I mean, how much honey do you need to spread out there? I mean, you're welcome to go there anytime business is open and add more honey. You know, I mean, maybe we do just stop for 2 days a week and have people work two people working together for a while. But the thing that stinks for them, it's only open 2 days. That means less traffic, less money that they're making.
Right,
The more days you're open, the more, oh, they're not open, I guess I'll go to the mall and buy something instead of buying your honey or your Afghan or your eggs.
right. Yep.
Yeah, it's individual preference, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
You're gonna run into that anyway. You get too much people in there into this, well, I'm gonna go down the street and get it done.
Right.
So it could be anything that makes them walk away.
Right. I mean, I'm thinking if you go in there, you're not gonna be spending a real lot of time. You're
Yeah.
looking at 15, I mean, if I don't want honey, I'm walking right by your booth.
right.
Lisa does a lousy job making those afternoons, so I don't even wanna look at them, you know?
And that would be interesting.
But I mean, we are limited on parking.
Right. Yep.
And that's why if we have one vendor there, there's a spot, if we have 2, there's a spot that's taken. And like I said, I think people will come and go. And right, I guess we could always expand on the days and expand on only one person being there. I mean, I don't know how busy this is gonna be. I don't even know, I'm hoping we can get to 15 vendors.
Right, absolutely, yeah, no, absolutely.
But you wanna make it affordable for the people and you want something for the people in the town to be able to go to.
Right.
It's
Without
not-
making it a liability to the borough.
Right.
That's your biggest concern right there.
You always have to put the damper on it, don't you? I mean,
That's the
it's-
legal problem.
yeah. So, anybody have any other thoughts on this, since I'm going on and on and on about it? Anyone have anything to add?
Look on the application and,
Okay,
you know, and like I said, you're gonna make a call to the insurance company to
wanna call you up?
have them sign a waiver, and then, yeah, see how Yeah, we do.
And then once we do that, we can have the open house in there and get people in there to look. And,
Oh, that might be Jeff.
tours,
Yeah, that looks to be what we admitted.
okay.
What time are we thinking of as far as Christmas concerned?
Well, I thought he said he had to call him at 8. Can we call him from his car?
We won't be home until,
We won't be home till. So you said he's not gonna make it at all, right?
correct, we're at home, so I don't know if you wanna talk to Jeff first.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if Jeff's there, we'll
He
put
is.
a hold on the rest of the
Good
stuff.
evening.
Hi, good evening,
We'll
Jeff.
talk with him and then we'll finish up.
Sure.
All right, so we finished up on 2-4 Perry, I guess, for now.
Just to make it legal, I'll make a motion to
Yeah.
table the rest of the items of the agenda to talk with Jeff, and then we'll come back to those items.
All those in favor?
Alright.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to, I don't know what number it is. Oh, that's 5, status of the urban renewal plan. Hi Jeff, it's Roberta, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you. It's been
Good.
a while.
Yeah, so we have Bob Desmond, I'm new, well, you knew me from the last time, but it's me. Bob Desmond, Lisa Lyons is new, and Peter Buckley's new.
Okay.
Reggie Nunnally is still a member of the board, but he is not available tonight. So
Okay.
this is your new kind of crew that you're looking at. So
Great.
I don't know if you want to start, or Bob, did you want to start with Jeff, or?
Jeff, feel free, I'll jump in if I have any questions.
Floor's yours, Jeff.
Okay. I'm not quite sure what you want me to do,
Oh,
but I can give an update.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just to get everyone, I guess twofold, and I don't wanna make a long conversation out of it. You have 2 new members.
Yep.
They might have some questions as far as the urban renewal plan, you know.
Okay.
My thing is, a status update. We met with the town and, came back with, 8, suggestions that they wanted to make to the plan. So I wanted to get an update on that.
Yep.
So, however, you know, however you want to go,
Okay.
if you guys had specific questions on the urban renewal plan before he gets.
Makes sense. I'll do a quick history lesson here. But I won't go back too far because it's been many, many years, unfortunately. But we had prepared an urban renewal plan that the Redevelopment Authority was comfortable with, and then it needed a vote from the planning board and a vote from town council before it could be finalized and sent into the state Department of Housing and Community Development, DHCD. So in the process
Now, let me
of
just
setting
stop
up
your-
meetings with the planning board, we sent them a draft copy, obviously,
Yes.
and at that point, the planning board members reviewed it, as did the new town planner, Bill Roth, the town manager, Pam from Economic Development. Those are the 3 I remember. There may have been others who reviewed it. And they had some comments and recommendations of things they'd like to see changed or added to the plan. And I'm trying to remember the exact sequence, but I think we ended up going in and talking to the planning board, finally making a presentation and making it clear that we had gotten some comments and feedback from town staff, and we're prepared to make some changes to the urban renewal plan. So originally, the basic boundary of the urban renewal plan, which was established by a previous consultant working with the town, Harriman Associates, pretty much stayed the same. And a lot of the recommended actions from that earlier study pretty much stayed the same regarding certain parcels that provided opportunities for redevelopment. When we got involved, there was a little bit of tweaking of things here or there. I think the new bank across from the church was acquired by the town, so that became a new opportunity. But a lot of the conditions were still the same and actions were still the same. And that was what was packaged and approved by the Redevelopment Authority, had a couple public meetings, and then again sent to the planning board in the town. And they came back with some recommendations that Some of them actually had been discussed during the course of developing the final plan, and Redevelopment Authority had some suggestions that we felt, or the members of the Redevelopment Authority felt weren't totally supported by the town, so we didn't put them in there because there's a lot to do, and let's start with the things that everybody is in agreement on and then build upon that. But when they reviewed it, a couple things they suggested. One is on Rose Street, including the, I'll call it industrial or warehouse property across the street from the fire station, including those buildings in the urban renewal plan. So those were one of the things that was added this year. Second was the State Theater, which during the course of us working with the town, a lot of people thought that was a touchy subject because a lot of people wanted to see it preserved, even though it would take a lot of money to preserve it. The town then came forward and said it's beyond repair. It would take an enormous amount of money to do something to it. So let's turn that from an acquisition and rehabilitation to an acquisition, take the building down and put something new on that site. The town also said that they'd like to see most of the proposed new buildings recommended as mixed use. We had some that were just residential, some that were going to propose just to be office and retail, and some that were mixed use, meaning most likely residential above and retail on the ground level. So a lot of the number of buildings were changed from solely one use to mixed use. The other comment was we had proposed, we meaning BSC and Redevelopment, had proposed a parking structure at the end of Railroad Ave, where there's now a surface parking lot that belongs to the MBTA. Thought was to work with the MBTA, turn that into a structured parking, so that some of the parking areas, surface lots downtown could be built upon, but there still be a good number of spaces in downtown to support the current needs and new development. The town said, let's not go as far as proposing a parking garage. Let's propose that as a mixed use, which could include a parking garage, but it also allows more flexibility with what could happen there. They recommended keeping the MBTA parking lot next to the train depot. We're proposing a new kind of town center park there. And the Redevelopment Authority did push back on that and said the park is a long-term vision. If at a point where the town feels they're ready to proceed with that, which would involve taking some of the post office property, because Rose Street needs to be extended through that area. So it's not as simple as just turning a parking lot into a park. There were other associated actions there. So the Redevelopment said, we'd like to keep it in as a park, but again, it's a long-term vision. When a time comes, we can reevaluate if a park is really the best use of that space. So the park was left in there. And then the proposed new building on, what's the street that's between the church and the Parks and Rec building?
Lincoln.
Pleasant Street.
Pleasant Street, thank you. We have proposed that as senior housing with parking and the potential of a community center on the first floor that would tie in with the senior housing but be open to more than that. The town wanted that to be a mixed use on that site, so that was changed. All those proposed uses could still happen there. And then the final change was the train depot, proposing that to be a community center for the reuse of that building, again, which is something the Redevelopment Authority had talked about. Didn't get a fuzzy and warm from certain town officials, but now there seems to be agreement on the reuse of that building. So I think those are the major last-minute edits to the plan, and I made those edits to the current version that was sent. And now, hopefully the town still is in agreement with everything, likes the way things were rewritten and rephrased. And if that's the case, the plan can now go to the select board. They need to hold a public hearing on the plan, and then they would, we would do a presentation at a public hearing. We would then take their questions either at that hearing or at a meeting after that point, answer the select board's questions, and request their vote of approval to then accept the plan for the town, which would actually be implemented by the redevelopment authority, but the governing body of the town accepts it and then goes to the State Department of Housing and Community Development. We've already shared with them a draft of the plan, I would say 6 or more months ago, and they gave us initial comments, and all their comments have been addressed in the most current edited update. So that's a very quick overview of what's been happening for the last 4 years or so. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you for that update. So just so everyone knows, it was approved by the planning board.
Oh, yes, Mary, yep.
We went in front of them, they approved it, and then we went and met with the town, and that's where they requested, I believe, it was 8 changes that they referenced. So as far as those changes, you said you've incorporated them in the plan.
Yes.
Have you shared that with anyone, the updated documentation for that?
I sent it to Donna, and I don't know who else was on that email, and also Bill Roth, town planner.
Okay.
I have not heard anything from Bill at this point.
And when was that sent, just so I have an idea? Recently?
Okay.
Yes.
That was a question, I didn't hear it, sorry.
But I'm just inquiring as to when it was sent to Donna and the town.
Bill Roth.
Bill Roth.
It was sent the same time it was sent to you. I can look at my emails. That was a couple weeks ago, I think. And in response to me,
July
I
2nd?
think it was around the same time you asked me to attend this meeting.
Right around July 2nd, Jeff?
I believe so, yes. I just want to double check, make sure I did put his name on the email.
It was like end June, beginning of.
Okay, so the one that you had sent has all the updates that you're referencing?
Correct.
Okay, all right. So
I still need to work on the formatting because new software upgrades messed up the previous formatting. I made it presentable, but I still need to do a few more things before it goes to the select board, just to make it look good.
Okay, so right now it's pretty much in Bill's hands, and what's the next step? Should we engage with them to coordinate an update as to, I think, just like the last time that we had to meet with, I think, 5 or 6 individuals, and they pretty much needed to go through it, look at the changes.
Yes.
I just don't know if that is an email from him to the specific individuals. We need to coordinate another meeting like we had the one that, the changes were recommended at. I just want to make sure that nothing's falling through the cracks. We're going through a timeline here, and just want to make sure we're not no missteps here, because as you know, this has been a long time coming.
Yes, that is my expectation that Bill would handle it, and I did not include him on the emails. So I apologize for misleading you, but I'm happy to forward this to him. And when I do so, he and I have known each other for quite a while. Frequently just calls me and says, "Okay, Jeff, what does the redevelopment authority want to do?" And then they can say they want the other staff to review it, make sure they're comfortable with the changes I made, and then we'd like the town to work with the redevelopment authority to set up a time for a public hearing with the select board. If you're comfortable with all that.
Do you have any more questions?
I think I'm good for now.
Do you have something you want to?
I'm good.
Jeff, it's Roberta here. You said you sent something to the state to review. What did you send to the state?
That was a version that was from last fall when the redevelopment authority was comfortable with everything, And we thought we were gonna go with the planning board and the select board and wrap this up at the end of last year. And DHCD likes to review a draft early on so that when they get the final version, a lot of their concerns have already been addressed, so they call it an informal review and recommendations. But things have changed since then, but I don't think they're gonna have any major concern with the changes. I think it makes it a stronger plan.
All right, so this draft that you submitted to the state,
Yep,
was this something that we paid for? Or is there no charge?
it was part of our scope to do that, and we've been coordinating with the state all along on behalf of the Redevelopment Authority. That was part of our, again, our scope, part of our contract with you.
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying, I guess I'm questioning, and you can hear it, the other members can hear it. This has not been approved by the Board of Selectmen.
Correct.
So I don't know why we would be spending any money to have this approved by the state. We're buying the prom dress without the invitation to the prom. It's an expensive thing to do, and we're just assuming this is going to be accepted. And we don't know if it's gonna be accepted.
I'm not following on that. It has to go to the state.
But if it doesn't get approved by the select board, it's not going anywhere.
I think what he's saying is he sent a draft about 6 months, which was included in the scope of the work. And Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, and that's just pretty much to keep them, praised of, hey, this is what they're doing. Is there anything that you need, or we're not following as far as the regulations are concerned? And they came back and said, you need to do A, B, C, and D. But we weren't really engaging with them. We're just kind of looking for some guidance as to, the plan. And then once it's approved by the select board, then the final version would go to that specific agency or.
Yeah.
Is that
Plus, yes, that's correct, and there was no additional effort on our part. We had generated a plan that the Redevelopment Authority was comfortable with. We just sent that to the state. It was, a 5-minute email and send it off to the state.
Okay, so if this does get approved by the select board.
Yep.
Will there be additional charges that we will owe you and or the state?
Get it to the state and get their approval? No, there'll be no additional request for money from us.
Will there be any from the state?
Oh, no, they don't, no.
Okay, why did I think there was a $16,000 fee? From the state to file stuff.
So, Jeff, just to kind of add on to what Roberta's was asking you, once it's approved, I kind of remember when Mark was chair that there's more requirements somewhere down the road that we would have the expectation if we wanted to keep the plan in place, we would have to, I'm not sure the word update or, there'd be additional requirements that we would, to keep our status, active. So I'm just wondering, I think that's what she's referring to.
Okay, yeah, I now understand, yes. So once the state approves, once DHCD approves it, I'm trying to keep my comments politically correct here. There are some new regulations that urban renewal plans now need to go through a permitting agency at the state level. That agency is called MEPA. It's basically supposed to be dealing with an environmental permitting process. But now they have been charged with reviewing all urban renewal plans in great detail. And we've been working with Quincy on their urban renewal plans for years. Quincy's plan, most recent plan for Wallaston, was the very first urban renewal plan to go through this new MEPA process. We worked with the city to get it through that process. It was a learning curve because no one else had done it. There was no examples to pull from. So Quincy paid a little bit of a premium, which is probably around 75,000 for that to be filed, because MEPA, not DHCD, but MEPA's saying, we understand you have actions in the urban renewal plan, but we want to see what else may happen in your town center, what other development may come, what other development have you heard of, what type of traffic improvements. They kind of load everything into what they want to review. We have BSC has pushed back, and City of Quincy has pushed back, thinking their requirements are onerous, but they're the permitting agency. They set the rules. So we did all that, and with Quincy, it cost about $75,000. And again, it was a learning curve, a little bit of a premium. The Wallaston plan is more extensive than the downtown Stoughton plan. But you just never know what that MEPA office is going to ask for until, again, the plans are approved by DHCD, and then we have a pre-filing meeting with the MEPA office, and they say, here's what we want you to submit to us, all this analysis.
I know.
And the plan can be in effect, you just can't take any action until MEPA signs off.
So I understand Quincy is a city and it's a new first of its kind, and I'm not holding you hostage on it, but can you give a guesstimate of what you think would be talking?
For dollars?
Yes, please. Guesstimate. I'm not holding you to it.
No, I would say at least 50,000, hopefully not much more, but Wareham did an urban renewal plan, and they went out to hire a firm to come in and do their permitting. We did not propose on it. The firm they hired for a brand new urban renewal plan, their fee was $110,000.
Jeff, on that one also, you're talking, that's an application fee to MEPA only at the end of the road, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Thank you.
But you can't use the urban renewal plan
So they sign off.
until they sign off. So we could go through this, the select board could sign off on it, but and we all of a sudden have a building that we want to, work on. We can't do that until phase 2 is signed off on.
Correct. And
We're better
this is,
off
I
not
assume
now.
this is being recorded, so I'll be
Yeah.
gentle. It's
Yeah.
been a very frustrating process.
I'm sure it has.
Okay.
They gotta get their money somewhere, Jeff.
We kind of feel guilty when someone wants to hire us to do this, but
As in,
we do.
can I just ask that question, Jeff? What is the benefit of having an urban renewal plan? I mean, the
Yep.
town can build what it wants without an urban renewal plan, correct?
Yeah.
The purpose of an urban renewal plan is to allow a redevelopment authority, in most cases, to take actions for the purpose of economic development. So in other words, actions on private property for economic development purposes or housing purposes. So without an urban renewal plan, a town could do roadway improvements, park improvements, public park improvements, parking lot improvements, things such as that. But when it comes to acquiring a parcel that's been sitting vacant in your downtown area and acquiring it so that you can structure an understanding or a deal with another developer to develop that parcel, that's for economic development purposes, and without an urban renewal plan, you cannot do that. So there's a number of parcels, like the post office parcel. You can't really do much to it unless, with development, unless the redevelopment authority acquires it, and then you can negotiate with developers. Let's say,
Could the town not?
to help clarify that, if the post office was to give the land to the town would then have to RFP it for development.
Okay.
So there is another process you can go through. It's a public process and doesn't allow a lot of flexibility with getting exactly what you want.
Are you familiar with what we call the hole in the ground in Stoughton Center that is now being finally after a plus years to be developed, so I'm just trying to mind head understand the difference between, we threatened to take that land by eminent domain, but wasn't that outside an urban renewal plan? So I'm just trying to,
Yep.
something's not connecting.
So the town, I'm not, I don't know all the details. I know the town acquired it. I'm not quite sure under what.
They threatened to acquire it, they didn't actually acquire it.
Okay. So for example, if the town can take property if people haven't paid their taxes, so they can take it for back taxes, they can take property for public safety if a building's falling down, but obviously you just have a hole in the ground. But if they were to acquire it, let's say for because of back taxes, the town would own it, they could transfer it to the redevelopment authority, but you'd have to go through a public solicitation process to get someone on board to redevelop that to the city's, to the town's, vision. Whereas if you are a redevelopment authority and you have an approved urban renewal plan with MIPA's approval, you can then talk to developers directly. You don't have to go public. You can see who's interested, you can talk to them, they can say, we want to put a 20-story tower, and you can say, nope, we don't want that, but we want a 4-story with this and that. And again, it's a negotiation versus a public process that's very prescribed and not a lot of wiggle room in it.
Yes.
In that plan, there's properties that are listed that, may be considered for, projects or redevelopment or economic improvements, so, that's in the plan itself. Okay.
Anybody have any questions for Jeff?
Jeff, in your opinion, do you find it that most developers will rather work with the redevelopment authority instead of going through the secondary process or the other process that you mentioned?
Work with the redevelopment authority versus, I'm sorry, what was the second option?
Like the town, going through the town itself, through the RFP.
I'd say generally yes, but every town has its own personality and its own way of doing things. So some cases a redevelopment authority might be more difficult to work with, but I haven't worked with any redevelopment authorities like that, but there were a number of them in the state. And I also want to add that in the last, 4 months here, when the town got more involved with reviewing the plan, the town also made a commitment to provide staffing to help with the implementation of the plan. So I don't know if there's been conversations between the town manager and anybody on this board, but there was an understanding that town resources would be made available to help implement the plan.
Interesting.
That was gonna be my next.
Did that come from the previous board members? This is before this board, but like more than 6 months ago, right?
Now that came, I'd say, early in 2024 when,
Okay.
and we added language. That was one of the things the planning board was looking for, was who's going to implement this? The redevelopment authority is great, but they don't have any staff. And that's when the town said they would provide staff assistance, and that's what's in the current version of the report.
All right, now I have okay, that explains it better, thank you.
But I don't know if anything formal was agreed to between the two bodies, but
I don't think that we're aware of right now, yeah.
but it's in the report, so if it gets approved, it's something both bodies would.
Pop out of nowhere.
Yeah, say they didn't say it.
Okay, are we good with Jeff? Johanna, do you need ask him anything? Okay, Jeff, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, if you can just give me a heads up, a public hearing by the select board has to be advertised 2 weeks ahead of the public hearing.
Right.
And we need to get you the final document before then. And I only need a few more days to wrap this up, but if you find you need it by the end of this week, let me know.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
You got some time.
Just say.
But you,
All
just
right.
to confirm, you will send that to Bill Roth, right?
Yeah, and I'll copy everybody.
Okay,
Great.
thank you
Yeah.
very much.
I'll copy everybody who got it the first time, and then I'll include Bill, say we spoke tonight, and sending it to you, Bill, with the hopes that we can coordinate a public hearing with the select board.
That's
Should he put
Has
Tom
to go.
Coulter on it? Should he put Tom Coulter on it, just so it doesn't seem like we're leaving him out of the loop?
Yeah, he can put Tom Culture.
Okay.
He's already
Okay.
on it. Yeah. Thank
All
you,
right.
Jeff.
Thank you. We'll
Thank
just-
you all. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. Any discussion on the urban renewal plan?
Let's read it.
It's in the packet.
Is it? All right, I didn't see that part.
Here you go.
Um,
But does this?
Oh, I gotta give you my computer. It's not working. I can't access it.
it's
So I had the password and everything, but that's why I didn't get the packet on that.
We're not gonna read that all tonight. Oh, I thought you said I wanna read it.
I do want to read
Oh.
it, not tonight.
Oh, you can take that then.
All right.
Yeah, you can take that. That's fine. All right, so anybody have anything to say about the urban renewal plan? Who wants to start?
I think we need two members to kind of get up to speed, read it, and come back to things that
That's what I was gonna recommend.
That's what I was gonna recommend. He's gonna send me, let the town reach out to us, and, I guess go from there. And then we gotta kind of talk about, from my perspective, we're getting over the finish line here. If they decide to go with it, then I think they, not only staff, but I think we're talking funding for the second portion of it. You know what I mean? I think that would need to be some type of, so. There's just no way that we're gonna, throw, then what if they come back and say, oh, there's another new requirements, and there's a stage 3, and it's just, gets to the point where,
I mean, just looking here, the equity and inclusion mission statement, okay, there's another whole. You gotta use firms from a certain, firm certified by the Commonwealth Supplier Diversity Office. I mean, this is just, it
Yeah.
just seems like a funneling of.
Right.
To just drain.
It's a requirement.
All right, I'll say it again. I have never been for this urban renewal plan. It is way too aggressive. We are a committee of volunteers that meet once a month, taking this building, knocking down these buildings, putting something there, putting something there. It's crazy. To me, it's crazy. And then 50,000 on top of the 100,000. Now, granted, nobody here was on the committee when this was first decided. This has been going on for years, since before COVID and the status of things. I mean, no offense. I mean, police station, fire station, saying town council, the selectmen. I get it. He doesn't live here, but I mean, let's be honest. The post office has been on and off since he started doing this.
I'm
And-
just curious, where's all the funding for? When you say ripping down buildings.
Well,
because
it's doing it through the urban, like you said, you can do an RFP, request for proposal, you can do the same thing. I'm not for it. I mean, it's come this far, and then on top, $50,000. I thought it was gonna be 15. I mean, it has gone this far. I look at it, let the select board see where the chips lay. But I'll be damned if I will vote to spend another $50,000 towards this thing that I think is turning. We are a suburb. We are not a city. And I don't want an urban renewal plan or a suburb. We can do what we can do to help make this town better in little ways that us volunteers can do. We know who says we're going to be guaranteed staff already if this happens. And where did they start?
Wasn't there another project where that was promised staff that was pulled, that there was,
I don't know. I'm just saying, that's my opinion. Everybody's known it from the get-go, but I'm saying it again.
I mean, what's your thought?
I'm for it. I'm for the plan. I don't know. I haven't read this one, but I think the town should have it. That's my opinion.
For you, what's the goal for you?
What was the goal of the town originally in this town, from downtown over there and all that? I'm not being rude, I'm just saying.
No, I don't think.
They've never had a plan, and they didn't have a good plan, is what it was. And the things that they did, some of them have failed. This is another step to do, the redevelopment, the urban renewal plan is to bring it in to the economic development that the town can handle and should be at that level for the economic development. Commercial, residential, doesn't matter, retail. There is no real plan there now. How many hairdressing shops and barber shops right here, just on this side of the
That's
street.
state controlled, we don't have a say. It's a state license,
What's the state?
But that's what I'm trying to get
hairdressers
at.
and barber shops, those are from the state.
I'm just
No,
trying.
no, that's not what I'm talking about. Who lets them in there? Is what I'm saying. Those are privately owned buildings. So I don't care, and not downing hairdressers
Right.
and all
I
that.
know that.
But you don't need 5 of them in a 1 block
Alright,
radius.
but if you're a landlord
You're gonna put something in there.
and you have an empty spot,
An urban renewal plan will help prevent that from happening, get the economic development the town needs.
So basically, you're in agreement to take over private properties, ownership.
That's not what that says, that's not what it's all about. It's to help develop the town. They have a vision to go through without the public, he just gave you one example of it. Instead of going through the RFP and the public process, through the urban renewal plan and the redevelopment authority, they bypass that. So it gives them a little bit more leeway with it, not so much what they can do, that's a whole other conversation of what they're allowed. But it gives them some benefit to it with a redevelopment and urban renewal plan.
When you say they, that's what I'm looking for you to
Town.
clarify.
Town. The town. That's it. They meaning the town over there. The town needs a plan to work. They don't have. They might have plenty in the records, all that, they don't work.
But why does it have to be an approved plan? Why can't it be, here's a draft? Here's a draft of what.
Without knowing the understanding of what the redevelopment charter is and what the charge is, I can't answer that question.
No, but
So-
I'm just theoretically here. I'm not looking to.
But I still can't answer the
Specific,
question.
yeah.
It's my opinion to see a plan. I don't have a vision of what the plan is gonna be. That's what the plan is for. And that's what the plan, they've had them in the past. They've had an overlay district that, again, you've done all those downtown. It's not, that business is not economically, I don't think it's feasible for the town to have all that in there. You can have a couple, but not the whole strip. And that's not, I'm just giving that as an example.
No, I know.
138 is another example. If they had any examples in the plan when they did it originally, I don't know if any of them down there. There's a lot of it could be blighted block properties down there. What have they been done with in the past 20 years? Nothing. There's been plans in place, nothing's been done. With an urban renewal plan, I think it gives it a little more edge.
I just don't know who would take control of it, who would implement it. Do you know what I'm saying?
But we have to figure that out. And that's what you get. You have to know more about what the charge is of a redevelopment authority to understand what their mission is and what they can and cannot do. And who can they partner with? It's not so much buying property, like you said, you can do it, you can partner with the developers to do it because you have that access to things that they don't normally have. And that's what it's doing.
My only hesitation or concern would be to take ownership, to interfere with private ownership.
That's one aspect of it, I think, on that. It's just one aspect, it's not the whole
you
job.
can take things by eminent domain.
They can do that now.
Right.
You know, and he gave you some examples of how to do it.
The urban renewal redevelopment can do it, right.
Or
I
town can do it.
guess I look at it this way, if I own a building and I have a for rent sign, and the only person that applies is a hairdresser, and I need to pay the taxes, first, I'm not gonna discriminate against somebody because you're a hairdresser.
Right.
So she can pay the rent or he can pay the rent. Why do I care if there's 5 more down the street? You're the one filling my spot. If the person doesn't survive, they will say, here's my 30-day notice and off I go. But obviously they're surviving. And we don't have any foot traffic really in the center. So
That's not just.
I guess
What's your thought?
yeah, he likes it. He likes it too. He likes it too.
I just want to understand.
Right.
Understanding of it.
Well, first of all, we're not gonna initiate or do anything without the town's approval.
Correct.
Correct,
I mean,
we
so-
can't.
So we're gonna take that off the table, so, but if they were to come to us, just as an example, and say, hey, can you acquire this house over here, this property, and,
The one that-
correct, yeah, but they had to go through town meeting and everything else like that, and we could work with the developer, and, I think the same, but it's another tool in the toolbox that would give them the opportunity that they might not have if we weren't here and the plan wasn't in place.
This is my question, Judy, and this is so that building that they were hoping you would
Correct.
agree to
Yeah.
buy. Okay, so could the redevelopment authority right now purchase that land without an urban renewal. So I'm just trying to understand,
Yeah.
what is our charging now without the urban renewal and
Whatever we
versus
want.
with?
Yeah, to answer your question, yes, we could. If we had the funds available and we voted, we can certainly do that. We can
As
acquire property.
as long as it fits certain things. That's why this building that we're doing,
Wait a minute, as long as it fits certain.
a
things,
certain,
that's
a
what
certain
I'm
element, like the building that we just bought, where we wanna put the shops. We couldn't put an electrician in there. But we have to conform to certain things. We own a piece of property, that's why I'm saying the part about the, doing the deposits,
alert. Planning board and zoning.
no, according to the redevelopment authority. We have certain conditions why we can buy something. So if we were gonna take that and I guess develop it into a parking lot,
Yeah.
okay, but if we were gonna just, I don't know, do nothing with it, I don't think we could just do nothing with it. I think we have to have, you have to have something to do with redevelopment and all that other stuff, so.
I heard you say, and if we have the budget to do so, where is that money, from what I've heard, we don't have that much money.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that correct? I just want to make sure I understand.
yeah, I mean, we have money, we have a budget, we have money in our bank account. That's how we acquired that property, you know, and like we've already said, it's under the guidelines of, you know, charter.
Yeah.
You know, you can do A, B, C, and D. You can't just, you know, buy a house and rent it out. That's not our, you know, that's not our vision. That's not something that we're capable of doing. I think what we could do is, and I think the example that he used, and correct me if I'm wrong, was, you know, Quincy, and they had a parcel of land and they needed it cleaned up. So the redevelopment went in and said, okay, it's going to be 20 grand to clean this up. We'll clean it up. We'll sign off on it. Whereas the town, if they wanted to do that, I believe they have to go through town meeting and be a process. So if we're able to go in and expedite that, and then we could say to the developer, hey, we're going to clean this out. That's stage number one. Then they're going to come in and do this. And we kind of partner with the town, utilizing their resources where they're constricted as to what they can and can't do right now. So, and I hate to use the analogy, but it's not a tool in the toolbox. That maybe we could have used something where we could have worked with that gentleman, have this been in place, or some other things. So I think it just gives you more opportunities to develop an economic development. But
So to me, what you're talking about is the SRA, not the urban renewal. So to me, the SRA can do certain those things you just described, exclusive of having an urban renewal. Is that a correct statement?
I believe some things, yeah. I mean, there would be more funding available from what, you know, if you read in there, there's grants available, there's, you know, there's staffing available from the town per se if we were to get those funds. So, you know, I think it's something that could help the town. I don't like the additional cost, that's to me, and so my thing would be, if the town wants to utilize this and they think it's a great idea, we'll put up our money. We've done, you know, 90% of the work. You approve it, and if it needs to be stage 2, then, you know, you pay for it. And that shows us that we're, you know, we're together. I just can't see dishing out more and more money, because then all of a sudden, what if it's stage 3? Oh,
Right, and I can't see what that $50,000 has any advantage, in my opinion.
Yep.
I don't know how it pays for itself. Let me put it that way.
Right.
I don't see it paying for itself. But that's my opinion, because I don't see it. I don't see it. We've had a lot of plans in this town, master plans, the schmoo, the this, the that, and they just collect dust and then they change. And
Well, that's kind of the concern
yeah,
here,
right.
that he's been I've been hearing about it for so long.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, why, I don't see the SRA working with the town in one direction that they wanna actually go. Do you know what I mean? You know, just.
And we still can't do anything without the Board of Selectmen's approval. We can't borrow money. I mean, we have some money, but we can't borrow money. Oh, well, the SRA wants to do a $20 million project over there. Okay, well, we don't have the money. Well, we have to go to town meeting. Do you think they're gonna say, oh yeah, you for it, Greg, yeah, we'll let you borrow $20 million? It's not gonna happen.
Exactly, that's why I'm questioning. I'm
Right,
like,
we
this
can't
doesn't
do any,
It doesn't even sound plausible to me, because I'm looking just on the couple of pages that I've looked at
Yeah.
on here, I'm like, this is gonna cost
you're gonna have to
millions.
look
Just
at
that
it a
Oscar
few
Drive
times.
area that the DOT is
Yeah.
working on now,
Yeah,
like that's millions right
Yeah.
there. But this is gonna be hundreds of millions.
it's very aggressive, yeah, yeah. It's like a whole
I
department
just
on
see
its
a,
own.
like a pie in the sky, and how do you get from A to B that's signature?
Well, somewhere along the line, it may not have been as crazy as it is now with this 50,000. Maybe 2 years ago you didn't need the meter. I don't know.
But
I
I
don't
see your
know.
point in terms of, you're looking to elevate the area. When you suggest that it's not the same thing, you're looking for a little bit of diversity.
I'm looking at smart development is what it is. It's not diversity at all, smart development. If you want it, price we will come in here. But no, it's smart development that's gonna be economically feasible for the town. What is gonna draw more money into this town? What's gonna draw more people into this town?
So I'm just trying to pick your brain, in your brain, what does that look like by doing?
I don't follow what you said. What do you mean, what does it look like?
For you, like, what do you
A plan.
see as, but a plan that shows what.
I haven't
that
read
tries-
this one here, so I
Oh,
can't
okay.
even comment on that. So it's like, I have to read this first
Okay.
to see, like I said, I'm in favor of a plan. I haven't read this one. So I don't know of all the aspects I'm in favor of at all, but at this level right now, my opinion is not gonna really matter at this point. It's at this stage now.
Right.
So it doesn't matter, but I am in favor of having a plan. But until I read this, I can't answer anything until I read it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have a vision of how we would like the town to look. You know, in a perfect world, what I'd like to have there, I'd like to have there, and
Yep.
I can walk and get an ice cream, I can go get a cute little scarf, I can,
Or I
But-
can have a decent restaurant in town that's not a fast food.
right. Yeah, or, you know, we all have our own, what the ideal
Yep.
Stoughton Center is, but as like we all know, we have 3 roads coming into it. You know, everybody's shifted and moving,
But that's
and
never gonna change, like
No.
how many times
Never
have
will.
we,
Right.
since I've lived here, they've redone that center
Right.
twice.
right, and they used to have parking a different way.
And that must have cost millions. And
Yeah.
what is it got? That's what I'm concerned with, spending these millions
Right,
to what end?
right.
Where's the value out of
Well,
spending?
one, the traffic flow. It improved,
I did not, you.
those improvements improve the traffic flow.
I
Believe it or
don't
not.
know, I grew up here when it was every man for themselves, before they
You
were.
also grew up, if you remember how they used to park,
Yeah,
like this,
and
over
Nickel
here.
Park, yeah,
You couldn't get trucks through the center of town.
yeah.
Not the trucks today.
It was every man for himself.
So to have it now, believe it or not, even though it is a cluster, it still flows better than it
And
did
then it was
before.
Cohen's Cones. Remember Roy Cohen and the cones? Before we had the lights? They were called Cohen, yeah.
They've tried many things in that
Yeah.
center. It's just, it's the what dumps into that center it's very busy. And it's all commercial route.
I think it might, help with the questioning, to have the town planner come to, one of our meetings and just sit in there. He did one, I believe, down in Fall River, or, and maybe he can give you a little bit more defined answers and examples as to, what he did and, how it helped the town and might help you as you're reading that also get his perspective. Just as a suggestion, again, I think we've taken it, we've done the homework, we've paid for it. Now to, just say, okay, that's it. And I certainly agree with the additional $50,000. It's absolutely ridiculous, but I would at least propose to the town to say, hey, we've done this, and if there's a phase 2, then that's on your dime, not on our dime. And they might say, it's your responsibility, and but if it's something that they believe in and they want to utilize, then that's a perfect time for them to step up to the plate and say, yeah, we'll partner with you. We think it's a great thing. If not, then you're the chair and you can certainly bring it up as a vote.
Well, to be honest, we've never really talked about it. I've been on this board for over 2 years.
Yep.
And I did vote against it.
Yep.
When I first got out, even though I'd already been voted, like to move some, I was obviously, I was one odd man out, which is fine. But there was never a discussion. This plan has not moved at all, except for these last 8 things in the 2 years that I've been here. It's waiting, and how slow the response time is from getting something back. That was requested
2 months.
in February,
Yeah.
because this stuff was supposed to be done before Mark got off the board.
Absolutely.
So, and it hasn't.
Yeah.
So really, nothing, we've never really talked about it. I used to watch the meetings too, Lisa, before I got on. I go, they never talk about it. It's on there, but they're not, and
One thing I'm really not yet, so they're talking about, when the SRA was, established in
Yeah.
1963. Then it starts to about technology
Yeah,
second,
yeah.
what it did. So then I'm looking at this, it says the SRA's role in the development was to oversee the orderly construction of land in the technology
Yeah.
centers to increase the, how are we gonna oversee?
no, that was done when they did that whole
That's
technology drive.
No,
North Stoughton,
I know, but I'm saying, who from the SRA or here would be overseeing that construction?
the whole board.
Would be included in the meetings and, what's
But that land was kind of given in lieu of building something, so they didn't develop Reebok and they didn't, somebody
Right.
bought that land. It was kind of a switch up, this for that, and so it's not like they had hot on over there when Reebok was being built.
Right.
It was kind of, Connor was the one who developed,
BJ's,
Yeah.
Kohl's,
yeah,
all
that whole strip.
The whole thing.
But it was like, that's your land now, you can do what you want with it. And that, so it was North Stoughton, and then the board prior, I think Registrar their focus was more on the center. It's not just the center, we can choose wherever we want to go. When I first got on, I wanted the Armory, and I basically never even got hurt on it. So there's things that we can attempt to try to do if we're allowed. But we have, our hands are tied without the select board okaying anything we do.
And I just heard Tom Pope say we own so much property in Stoughton, not SRA.
Right, right.
Stoughton,
Oh, yeah.
that we're not doing anything. Like, so I'm just like, why are we not?
Oh, I wanna do that senior housing I told you next to they won't, and it's like, we're gonna hand me on that too. And that was even before I got on the SRA. So there's, it's good to have a discussion, you guys are new at it, Bob's really never voted for it. So it's good that we're talking about it, and the people know what the heck we're talking about. And we look at it, and hopefully he sends it to,
I think when we do talk about it in detail, that we should have something to show people.
well, if this goes to
Crazy.
if this goes to the select
Well,
board,
the public hearing.
he
have
would be
to-
there at a public hearing,
Right.
and he would
he
go
would make
over the whole thing.
presentation.
And you have to give people 2 weeks' notice, you have to, so the select board could read that, or the public could read it, and the public would have input.
It's a hearing, it's a public hearing.
When we went in front of the planning board, we went 3 times. Strike 1, strike 2, and finally we were able to, answer all their questions. And they had changes as well. And we had to, when they changed it, that took time. So now, then we
What
brought,
type of things did we not have at the moment?
The admin staff as well.
yeah, I think the.
Put it this way, this thing was
No,
started,
just having an admin staff to do it.
Lisa, this thing was started before the fire station, because they were talking about acquiring Fire Station 1. It's like, come on, people, the fire station's gonna be open. And we're still, and you had that on there, it's just because the time, it's been years. And things just weren't updated, because the wheels are just moving very slowly all around. Go ahead, Donna, sorry.
I just had a quick question. Jeff mentioned tonight, that there needs to be 2 weeks, leeway,
Right.
to advertise it. He said, let me know, when it gets on the agenda and I'll make sure the changes are made. Do you think it would be better for the for the SRA to be proactive and give him a deadline that the changes need to be made? Because what's the sense of even requesting to be put on the select board agenda if the changes haven't even been made?
They can't be put on the select board agenda
If they're not made.
until they approve those changes. Tom's not gonna let it get on the select board until, those changes have been approved by his staff.
Right, but he's saying, oh, let me know when it gets on the agenda and then I'll submit the changes.
Well, you said these
No,
changes.
he says he needs a couple, I heard, he
Yeah.
said he needs a few more days, as long as it's not before the end of the week. And then he can make last minute changes and then be ready to send it.
I think it was more the flick in his programming.
He
That's
said
it.
the format.
I thought it was more formatted
Yeah.
and graphical,
Yeah,
you know.
He's gotta reformat it.
Yeah, and I don't think it was the substance of it, and he wants to
Right.
make it look, and.
pretty it up.
I mean,
Are you gonna pick a date though, that,
For him to have it in,
right, so that we follow up with him if we don't have it by that date?
he'll have it. I guarantee he'll have it. I mean, you can do what you want, but I don't think I think well, you can, but I don't think he's gonna have
He
it.
asked Donna to follow up with
Yeah.
by
Sure.
Wednesday of next week. Can you call Jeff
Yeah.
and say, Jeff, are the changes ready?
Can you do the changes?
I'm just
Is
afraid,
that what you're asking?
yeah, 'cause I'm
Yeah.
just afraid
If I
we'll,
was sitting in your seat, that's the exact question.
I'm afraid we'll be back here in August and we'll still be talking,
I know
Yeah.
exactly.
right,
Yes, we will be, Donna. You're exactly right.
okay.
So she's just saying, can she give the little
Yeah.
nudge to
Yeah.
get the next, the
Can we
final
have
step?
him out by can you have him by next Friday or something like that? You're giving him 10 days.
Yep.
So by the time we have our next meeting, it's done. And then he'll probably need a nudge again.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll CC you on the email.
Okay. Because, right, it's gonna have to get vetted through the planning board again, and then through town manager. He's gonna wanna look at it before it goes to the select board.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a while,
Mm-hmm.
so, that's why, I think having him here at our next meeting to answer any of your questions and also say, this is our game plan, we've brought it here, now all of a sudden the state's coming with these additional requirements, if you wanna partner with us, then
Yeah.
where's your checkbook, and.
Do you think he has the authority to do that? He doesn't have a checkbook. No, he's saying the planner. You wanna have the planner or you want to call together?
No, I want the planner here to
Okay.
explain the urban renewal plan, his history
Okay.
with it, answer any questions.
Okay,
And then say, listen, this is where our frustration is. They're looking for an additional 50,000. We don't have that. If you really want to utilize this tool for future generations and put it in place, then
but like I said, we still don't, it still has to pass the select board.
right, and then you're gonna have to. One of the things when we're presenting it is, while you accepting this, you also accept that future costs, are gonna be.
Well, you just tell him that this is what we're looking for, then he's gotta relay it to
Right,
Tom,
right.
because he works with Tom, he
Correct.
can't make that decision.
Yeah, no,
So
absolutely.
you wanna invite him to the next meeting?
But that would be my suggestion, but
Okay,
I mean,
That's
I don't know how
fine.
everyone else feels, and so.
you guys good with that? All right, in
He's
August?
gonna be
All right.
circled.
And he should have that, as long as he mails that thing out, emails it out. Because he never
He just
did.
He just sent it out.
Oh, beautiful.
Sent it to him, so he's got it tonight.
All right,
It's like Wednesday, but
Yeah.
Thursday's the late night, so.
yeah, all right. All right, so we good with the urban renewal plan? We beat that horse?
No.
You got something else to say about that urban renewal?
Right?
Yeah, no,
They read it.
okay, all right. All right, Lisa, you're good on the urban renewal for now? Okay.
What does it go for 20 days and 92?
All right, so the next is the finance review. Reggie is not here to talk about our monetary situation. Payment of the legal bill.
I just want to mention, we have not received, under finance review, we have not received the annual report yet from the accounting firm.
Did Reggie submit that? Okay, all right.
You asked me to keep it there on the radar.
Right, and then the legal bill, for the tax exemption, he was gonna call Jenny about.
Right, we paid the majority of the legal
We
bill.
paid, but we didn't pay the Perry Street one.
The 852 one, right, that's correct.
And we haven't heard from her an itemized bill on that.
Nope. I don't know whether he's even reached out.
All right, what do you guys thought on that?
Have a symbol, an itemized bill.
Can you email her, Jonathan, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
She's with a firm, right?
Yeah,
See if she, might be better off if you can't get a hold of her, find out who her paralegal is, and then they'll probably have all that information. You'll probably get the paralegal for her.
Yeah.
right.
And anything like that, so that might be a better route just to get, so she's not delaying.
Okay, I'm looking at the items action list. I mean,
Hasn't been done.
okay, yeah. Is anybody have any comments on that? I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. Reggie's not here. Bank statements. You're doing the bank. Who's doing the bank statements?
I can get those too.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, I'll just give you the username and password and you can.
Yeah,
Okay,
beautiful.
Does that work for you?
sure.
I'm sure it does. All right, so no, we don't need to go over the line by line on the action item list. Are we good with that? Dawn, you good with that? Okay.
Yes.
We have to approve the June 12, 2024 executive session minutes. So that was that the last meeting?
Yep.
The last meeting I was at.
June 12th.
Okay. Oh, the last meeting you were at.
Yeah, you had the 26th, you had the 18th with the select board, and then you had the 12th.
I don't remember the executive session.
Yeah, so,
I know I have, I just can't think we talked about it.
It's in one of your folders here,
Okay,
right there.
all right. I know we must have talked about something, I read them, but, okay, does anybody have a motion? Lisa wasn't here, so she can't vote, or she can abstain. Somebody make a motion to approve the 6/12/24 executive session
We're
minutes?
approving but not releasing.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lisa, you're abstaining? Okay. All right, so we are adjourning from, open session. And we are going to attempt to go into executive session. And I gotta read it. We don't know if it will happen. We got the phone call to go through. Okay, enter into executive session. Chris Karras of Wind Waste attending to consider possible acquisition of property for the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property if the chairman decides that an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiation position of the public body pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A6. Lease for 100 Page Street, Landfill, Stoughton, Mass. 02072. Do I have a motion to go into executive session? And we won't come back, so then we'll close out the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, have a good night.